The Old Man in the Shadows. The morning sun rose slowly over the city of Larkspur, spilling golden light across narrow streets and aging rooftops. A gentle chill clung to the air, and smoke curled out of tea shops and street-side food stalls, marking the rhythm of another day's beginning. As vendors set up their carts and the first wave of workers poured into buses and shared rickshaws, one figure stood out, an old man pushing a rickety wooden cart through the alleyways of the old town. His name was Bubba Remen. No one knew how old he truly was. Some said 70, others guessed well beyond 80. His face was a map of time, weathered and folded with wrinkles, his eyes soft with kindness yet heavy with fatigue. He wore the same tattered brown coat year-round and a thin cotton scarf tied neatly around his neck. He had no family, no home, and no steady income. But everyone knew him, not because he begged, not Baba, he worked. Every morning, long before the sky turned pink, he would wake up from under the archway of an abandoned railway warehouse, where a few sacks of rice and a torn mat served as his home. With a cane in one hand and his cart's handle in the other, he set out to do labor, carrying bricks at construction sites, cleaning storefronts, lifting crates in the wholesale market. No task was too small or demeaning for him. He didn't earn much. Some days it was 200 rupees, sometimes less. Enough for one meal, maybe some tea. But Bubba Remen never spent it on himself. Instead, every single rupee he earned went into feeding children. Across town, in a crumbling part of the city, where the streetlights flickered and gutters overflowed, lived a group of orphans, some as young as 4, some near their teens. They had no guardians, no protection, no regular meals. Bubba had stumbled upon them one monsoon evening, years ago, when he saw a little girl eating from a dustbin. That moment changed his life. From that day forward, he made it his life's purpose to care for them. Every evening, after a long, grueling day of work, he would buy bread, rice, lentils, whatever he could afford. With his weak hands, he would cook on a small coal stove under a tree beside the alley, and feed all the orphans with a smile that glowed despite the fatigue etched across his face. Word spread, slowly at first. Some neighbors mocked him, calling him mad for sacrificing his only earnings. Others ignored him. But the children, know how they loved him. They called him Dada Yon, their grandfather. For them, he was warmth in winter, food in hunger, and hope in hopelessness. One evening, after a hard day of carrying sacks of flour, Bubba collapsed on the street. His legs gave out, and he hit the ground with a thud. A shopkeeper, Altif, rushed to help him, and gave him water. Quotes. Bubba, why are you killing yourself like this? Altif asked. You're too old, you need rest. Let someone else help the kids now. But Bubba shook his head. If I don't, who will? He said with a soft smile. They are not someone else's children, they are mine. And fathers do not rest when their children are hungry. That night, Altif quietly followed Bubba to see where he went. He watched from behind a wall as Bubba served simple lentils and flatbread to a group of nearly 20 kids who sat in a circle under a broken lamppost, their eyes full of joy. Some kissed his hands, some laid their heads in his lap. Altif couldn't sleep that night. The next day, he told a few friends. The story spread like wildfire. Videos and photos surfaced on social media. Old man who feeds orphans with his days. Labor, the headlines read. People began to visit him. Some came to meet him out of curiosity, others to donate. But Bubba didn't want fame. I don't want money, he told a reporter once. If you want to help feed someone hungry around you, that will make me happy. But the city had made up its mind. For years, they had walked past poverty. They had seen beggars, hungry children, and broken souls, and done nothing. But here was a man, with nothing to his name, still choosing to give everything he had. That shame, and that inspiration, moved hearts. Businessmen visited him. A wealthy woman offered him an apartment he refused. A social worker begged him to accept monthly funds he declined. I will take what I need, and the rest must go to the children, he said. One evening, under the same broken lamppost, Bubba saw something new. A group of young men and women students, engineers, and even shopkeepers joined hands and brought food for the children. Dozens of people gathered, singing songs, feeding the orphans, and listening to Bubba speak softly about love, humility, and giving. Soon, a movement began, Hearts in Frame. It started with a single camera capturing Bubba's humble actions. A documentary went viral. Donations poured in. But no one wanted to turn it into a charity where the funds vanished into paper. They wanted to build something lasting, something real. They decided to build an institute, the Raman Home of Hope. It wasn't just would be a full-fledged center for education, food, medical care, and job training for the homeless, orphans, and struggling elderly. Bubba cried the day they laid the foundation. He hadn't cried in years. "I am not worthy," he whispered. But they all knew he was more than worthy.